The shooting in Colorado scared a lot of people, and one of the people that was very frightened by that shooting was a 37-year-old man by the name of Scott A. Smith in Ohio, who decided that he wanted to protect himself in case a similar shooting happened when he went to go see The Dark Knight. So when he went to go see the movie, he took a gun, ammunition, and several knives along with him. He carried all of that in a backpack, and one employee at the movie theater noticed it and thought that it was suspicious, so alerted authorities immediately. Now, when authorities questioned him about it, he immediately cooperated with them and said, look, I'm scared. I feel like I need to have these weapons on me just to make sure that something like this doesn't happen when I'm at the movies. And you know what? I know that this guy sounds a little kooky, but I completely understand where he's coming from.
It's interesting. The first level is, do you believe him? Because you come in with a backpack, got all this ammunition, you're worried that the guy is actually the bad guy and not worried about protecting himself. But I tend to agree with you. I think that he's telling the truth. Now, we don't know for sure, of course, but based on the facts that we have, because everybody's scared out of their minds. And, you know, and they've been told by the NRA and they've been told by the politicians, oh, man, you better carry a gun. You better carry a gun. If there's a shooter, at least shoot back. I mean, Louis Gohmert, right after the Aurora, Colorado shooting, said, well, you know, why didn't somebody in the audience shoot back? So he would have loved this guy carrying all that ammunition and weaponry.
The shooting in Colorado happens. A few weeks later, the shooting at the Sikh temple happens. And I remember when that story broke last weekend, I turned over to my family and I said, you know what? I hate guns. I've never shot a gun. I never had the urge to shoot a gun. But I feel like I need to go and buy a gun. And I need, I need to go get the permits, whatever it is that I need to do. I don't know, maybe take some training, but I feel like we've created an environment where everyone is in fear, right? This is our so-called safer environment where we all have access to guns, right? No, I don't want to live in that kind of nation. I don't want to be scared out of my mind all the time. I don't want to think about the possibility of someone shooting up a movie theater every time I go out for, an evening of, pleasure or whatever it is. It's ridiculous.
You know what? This is exactly what the NRA wants.
Exactly, yes.
This is exactly what the gun manufacturers and the arms dealers want. They want everybody scared out of their mind, whether it's you or whether it's that guy in Ohio. They say, yeah, you better bring 2 guns to the movies. You never know what's going to happen. And by the way, here's a set of predictions for you guys. There's going to be another shooting, that's obvious, because the massacres are coming at a quicker pace now. And in one of these shootings, somebody is going to have a gun. And it's possible that during one of these shootings, that the guy with the gun to defend himself is actually going to shoot the shooter. And then the NRA and the media is going to go crazy. They're going to cover it wall to wall. They're going to make him the biggest hero in the country. They're going to say, you see that? If everybody had a gun, everything would be fine. Then that will be followed by a series of shootings where there will be other shooters and they will all shoot one another. And it'll be an epic disaster. And everybody will be carrying guns and we'll all turn the whole country into the OK Corral. And it'll be horrible for us. And so many more people will be killed. And those same arms dealers that control the NRA will love it. Because then everybody will be in the position that Ohio man is, thinking if I ever go outside my house, I better have a couple of guns with me. And the arms dealers will think, epic win. Now, we get slaughtered, but they make money.
Now, authorities are planning on charging this man with carrying under disability. Apparently, he's on prescription drugs, and he is not supposed to have a gun under any circumstance. And also, he didn't have a permit for the gun that he was carrying. So he will face charges for that. Mm-hmm. But it's just another story of someone who has a ton of access to weapons that he shouldn't have access to. How did he get that gun in the first place, right?
And by the way, if he was in 30 different states, including Wisconsin, where we just had the Sikh temple shooting, he could actually bring that gun out in the open. And he doesn't need a permit, doesn't need training. And if the cops come and say, hey, what's that gun about? He can tell them to piss off.
Yeah, and look, people are going to say, look, the reason why he got that gun is because gun control didn't work. He needed a permit. He didn't get the permit. He got the gun anyway. No, but gun show loopholes are a huge problem. So we need to have discussions about that. Why can people go to gun shows and buy weapons? Exactly.
And it's not an accident. The NRA demanded that it be part of the law so that you can go buy from a private seller at a gun show and you don't need any background check. You don't need anything. It's an open invitation to selling guns to people who are going to use them for illegal purposes, whether it's murder or whether it's drugs or whatever it might be. Saying, here, come buy your illegal guns here. It's the most obvious thing in the world. In fact, We don't even have to talk about it because the gun owners agree with us. An overwhelming majority of gun owners and NRA members say we should close the gun show loophole. But we don't close it anyway because that's not who makes the decisions. It's America. So the gun corporations make the decisions.
In fact, Cenk, let's not have any laws when it comes to gun control because, you know what? Criminals don't follow laws anyway, so we should just let them do whatever they want to do.
Well, you know, since criminals don't follow any laws, why have laws in the first place? Why don't we just let people murder and rape each other? Okay? And rob each other. Well, and it's okay. You can protect yourself. You just get a couple of guns. By the way, it's not that far off from what they want. Okay? Deregulation, big government doesn't work, everybody gets some guns. And ironically, they're all Marxist. They want the same thing as Karl Marx. They want the government to melt away. But their utopia is actually a nightmare where everybody's killing one another. We tried this before. It's all right. It was literally called the OK Corral. It was the Wild Wild West. And you know what happens when everybody pulls a gun? Most people die.